सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमसौ बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरते यौपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओमित्येतदक्षरमुद्गीतमुपासीत ओमिति ह्युद्गायते तस्योपव्याख्यानम्। So we are right now looking at the Brahma Sutra 138. Bhuma samprasadat adhyupadeshat. So Paramatma is Bhuma in the Chāndogyopaniṣad, not Prana, but Bhuma is Paramatma. Why Samprasadat Adi Upadeshat? Samprasadat, because after Prana, Adi Upadeshat, Bhuma is taught as superior to Prana. And therefore, Bhuma must be Paramatma and not Prana. That's what the sutra means. So Sutrakara used the word Samprasada instead of Prana. I guess that must give the idea to Bhashyakara as to how to construct the Purva Paksha and everything, you know. So Idam says the Bhashya, Idam Samanananti on the page 211. So this is what the Upanishad says. Bhumatva vijignasadabhyeti bhumanam bhagavo vijignasaiti. Then in the Chāndogyopaniṣad, the 7th chapter, says Narada says to Sanat Kumara. So Sanat Kumara first says Bhumatva vijignasadabhyeti. He says Narada is Bhuma that one should seek to know. One should seek to inquire into and know the nature of Bhuma. Bhumanam bhagavo vijignasaiti. So then Narada says that I seek to no Bhuman, please teach me about that. Then Sanat Kumara gives the Lakshanam, the characteristic of Bhuma. Yatra nanyat pashyati, nanyat shrunoti, nanyat vijanati, sa Bhuma. That Bhuma is Advitiyam, non-dual. Yatra nanyat pashyati, where one does not see anything other than oneself. Nanyat shrunoti, where one does not hear anything other than oneself. Nanyat vijanati, where one does not know anything other than oneself. Where anything other than oneself is not there. That's the idea is whether he sees or not, that is not the point. Even when he sees also, in the day-to-day activities, when he sees, then also he does not see it as different from himself. That's important. So not seeing and not hearing and not knowing is not so important as nanyat, that it doesn't in his mind now. There is no such thing as anyat, something other than himself. So this is the context, this is the Vishaya, the subject matter. Tatra samshaya. In this now, the samshaya or the doubt arises because two equally possible interpretations are there of this whole context. Kim prano bhuma syat avasvit paramatma iti. The doubt is whether is it prana that is taught as Paramatma in Chāndogyopaniṣad there, or is Bhuma taught to be Paramatma? Kutaha samshaya. So what is the ground for you to have this doubt? Why do you have this doubt? Then explain. Bhumāditavat bahutvam abhidhiyate. So by the word Bhuma is meant bahutvam, plentitude, plentiness, boundlessness. That ness is important. It is the abstract noun. From the word bahu, the bahutvam, Bhuma means bahutvam, the abstract noun of bahu, which means plenitude, plentiness. Bahor lopo bhucha baho iti bhuma shabdasya bhava pratyantata smaranat. Because Sage Panini explains how the word bhuman is derived from the word bahu. Bahor lopaha bhuhu cha baho. That the bahu is replaced by bhu. That's the adesha. And then also baho parasya iminich pratyasya adehe ikarasya lopasyat. So bahu plus iman, that pratyaya, the suffix is there. The iman adehe ikarasya, the first e is elided, so it remains man. So what bahu is replaced by bhu, and iman, the e goes away, so remains man. So it's bhu plus man. Therefore, you again the word bhuman. And where imanich pratyaya is applied, it gives you the sense of abstract noun. So bhuman means bahutvam. That's all it means. Tasya bhavarthaka even pratyantatvat bahutvam vachyam. Even pratyaya is bhavarthaka. Even provides the abstract sense to a word. Like tva. So bahu means plenty, bahutva, the plenty, and where the tva comes, it is the abstract noun. So Guru, Gurutva, anywhere you apply Tva, it is ness. Tva means ness in English. So goodness, bigness, plentiness, etc. So same thing it does, Iman Pratyaya does the same thing. So because Bhuman means plentitude, so tat kim dharmikam iti akanshayam. So that ness must always reside in a locus. Goodness cannot exist independently. Goodness must necessarily be located in something that is good. Greatness cannot be independent. Greatness must be located, must have a locus in something that is great. So also, Bhuman's Bahutvam, plentitude, plentiness. So plentiness also must have a locus in something that is plenty. So what is that plenty? Sannita prakanastha prano dharmi bhati. What just preceded Bhuma was prana. So after the teaching of prana, then the Bhuma is taught. And Bhuma means plentiness. So plentiness must have a locus. So what is that locus? What preceded immediately was prana, so that must be a locus. For example, as of course Bhashyakara himself will explain that, so we can wait until then. So kimatmakam punah, so Bhashyakara continues, kimatmakam punah tad bhuttvamiti vishesh akankszayam. So when somebody says plentitude or plentiness, the akanksha, the immediately question arises. Kimatmakam punastad bahutvam. What is it that possesses that bahutvam? What's the nature of that plenitude? Iti vishesh akankszayam. So you want to know in particular what it is that possesses this plenitude. Prano va ashayaha bhumayati stannidhat prano bhumayati pratiyate pratibhati. So one connection is sannidhana, sannidhi, because of proximity. The prana just preceded bhuma. So sannidhana, because of proximity, it is quite natural for a mind to connect what follows with what precedes. First, normally our mind will look for connection between, subsequent things. So first prana is taught. What is it? Prana va ashayaha bhuyan. That prana is greater than asha. And then comes the prana bhuman. Sannidhanat prano bhumayati pratibhati. Says ashāvāva smarat bhūyah. Having said that, then prano va ashāyaha bhūyān. Then Upanishad said prano va ashāyaha bhūyān is prana that is greater than asha. यथा वा अराहा नाभौ समर्पिताः एवं अस्मिन् प्राणे सर्वं समर्पितम्. If you remember, just as the spokes are all fixed in the hub, similarly also the entire universe also is fixed or has its being in prana. So prana is present just as a hub is the one that sustains, that provides the existence and movement to the spokes and the wheel. So also prana provides existence and movement to the entire universe of names and forms. Evam asmin prane sarvam samarpitam. Similarly, the entire universe of names and forms is samarpitam, is fixed, is located, has its being in prana. Prana prayanayati. So when somebody moves, when I move, what moves? It is prana that moves by itself. See, in movement, when I walk, etc., it is prana that moves. Prana does not require the help of anything else for movement. Prana is self-sufficient. Prana pranayana yati. Prana pranam dadati. When I give something to somebody, in fact, it's prana that is giving to prana. Because one who is giving also is prana. The one to whom it is given also is prana. So prana is giving to prana. Pranam dadati, prana dadati. Prano pita, prano mata, prano swasa, prana swasa. Prana alone is father and mother and sister and brother and everybody. So prana is the two things I said about prana. One is prana is the very adhisthana, the locus of the entire universe, number one. Secondly, prana is the self of all. Prana alone is father, alone is mother, sister, teacher, brahmana. So prana is the self of all. These two things are stated about prana. Prana heva etani sarvani bhavati. In fact, it is prana alone who is all this. Savaesha evam pashyan evam manvanah evam vijanan ativadi bhavati. So thus one who sees evam pashyan, one who sees that prana alone is everything. Prana alone is the very substrate of the universe, and prana alone is the self of all. One who sees this fact, who meditates upon fact, realizes this fact, ativadi bhavati. He becomes ativadi. Who's ativadi? Ativadi is the one who transcends everything in speech. So the universe consists of nama, from name, vak, speech, manaha, mind. Like that, in the whole series of 15 things are stated, coming all the way to prana. In the universe, his name also is there, speech also is there, mind also is there, so many things are there. But this person sees everything only as prana. He realizes that speech also is prana, and name also is prana, and mind also is prana, because prana is self of all. All this name and speech and all the sequence is being stated there. All of that has its being in prana. It's all fixed in prana. Just as spokes are fixed in the hub, so all of these are fixed in prana. And prana is the self of them all. So he sees everything as prana. So when it comes nama, he says prana. Instead of vak, he says prana. Even if he may not say it in words, in his mind, he says nama, vak, manaha, all of these sankalpa, chittam, everything he sees, nothing as prana. So it transcends everything in speech. Ativadi bhavati. Tam ched bruyuhu ativadiyase. If somebody should say, hey, you are transcending everything in speech, what are you doing? He says, ativadiyasmiti bruyat. You should also, in fact, acknowledge or validate, yes, I am ativadi. I am the one who transcends everything in speech. Na apahnavid. He should not shy away from accepting this, owning up. If somebody says you're ativadi, you should own it up. Don't shy away from owning up this. So that's then. Esha tu va ativadati yas satyena ativadati. Then Sanat Kumara says further, The thing is, up to this prana, in every case, says Narada kept on asking, Asti Bhagavah Ashayaha Bhuya iti. Asti Bhagavah Namnaha Bhuya iti. Asti Bhagavah Vachaha Bhuya iti. In each case, Sayyid Narada kept on asking, is there something superior? Is there something superior? When it came to prana, then Narada does not ask. So Sanat Kumara volunteers himself in saying that there is something beyond prana also. Even though Sayyid Narada seems to be satisfied by knowledge of prana, because prana is the self of all, prana is the very adhisthana, substratum of the universe. So then he thought that this prana is Atma, and therefore until then he did not think this is Atma. Nama he did not think it was Atma, or Vak, or all of the two, when it came to prana, up to Asha also he did not think it was Atma. So he kept on asking, is there something better, superior, greater? But here after prana he did not. So Sanat Kumara volunteers, Eshatuva ativadati yas satyena ativadati. He said, Narada, the one who becomes ativadi by virtue of knowledge of prana is not the ultimate ativadi. Eshatuva ativadi, ativadati. But this one really transcends the speech. Yes, satyena ativadati. When you transcend the speech by virtue of knowledge of satyam, he is the real transcender of speech. So as we said at that time, that ativaditvam, transcending the speech, is presented here as moksha. Moksha means the vision of non-duality. Seeing the self as everything, seeing the self as the self of all, seeing the self as non-dual. So that's what ativaditvam amounts to. When he transcends the speech by way of sattva, satya, means that he sees everything as satyam. In the perception of this wise person who is known satyam, there is nothing but satyam. And so he sees himself as satyam, everything else as satyam. And therefore, so ativaditvam amounts to seeing non-duality. And seeing non-duality is the knowledge of the truth, which is the means of moksha. So the ativadi is understood as muktaha, is one who is liberated. Eshatuva ativadati, yes satyena ativadati. He says Narada, don't think that the knower of the prana is the ultimate ativadi. The ultimate ativadi is the one who is ativadi by virtue of knowledge of satya. Satyena, soham bhagavah satyena ativadani. Now, says Narada, realize there is something superior to prana. Soham bhagavah satyena ativadani iti. O Venerable Sir, I seek to transcend the speech by the knowledge of satyam. Satyam te vijignasatabhyam iti. But you have to inquire into the nature of satyam, then alone it will be possible for you to become ativadi. Satyam bhagavo vijignasaiti. O Venerable Sir, I seek to know satyam. Yada vai vijanadi asa satyam vadati. You cannot speak truth unless vijana, you know what truth is. Meaning that in other cases you have to meditate. In this case you have to see or realize the truth. So speaking truth is possible only when one knows the truth. But what is this truth? If you know what is truth, then what you speak is truth. So yada vijanati atha satyam vadati na vijanan satyam vadati vijanan eva satyam vadati. One cannot speak truth unless one knows the truth. Therefore, one should know, have knowledge, vijnanam. Vijnanam to vijignasada, but then one must make an effort also to gain that knowledge. Vijnanam bhagavo vijignaseti. Oh, Venerable Sir, I seek to know vijnanam, seek to know knowledge, meaning please tell me, what are the sadhanam? What's the means of gaining that knowledge? So from now on the sadhana is being taught. You see, the thing is, so far what followed was superior to what preceded. Up to Satyam. After Satyam, the teacher is talking about the sadhanam. How do you know Satyam? By knowledge. How do you gain that knowledge? Yada vai manute atha vijanati. The vijnanam or knowledge is possible only by mananam. So Shravanam, Mananam and Vijnanam. That's the sequence that is followed here. Na matva vijanati. Without Mananam, without deliberation, without investigation, without deliberating upon the meaning of scriptures, one cannot know. Matistu vijignaset vyayati. Therefore, one must seek to gain mati, meaning one must strive to adopt what it requires to perform, take up the means for doing the manana. Yada vai shraddhati atha manute. So when is mananam possible? When will you even inquire into the meaning of these scriptures? When would we even study this? We are right now seeking to understand what the Upanishad teaches, what the Brahma Sutra teaches. When would that be possible? When there is Shraddha. Shraddha in the words of scripture, Shraddha in the words of teacher, then only, then Shravanam also is included here. Then Shravanam takes place. Then Mananam takes place. Then Vijnanam takes place. Yada vai Shraddhadhati atha manute. When Shraddha is there, Shravanam takes place, then Mananam, then Vijnanam. Shraddhat eva manute. Shraddha to vijignastavyayati. But hey Narada, Shraddha also has to be attained. Meaning that you have to make an effort to even gain Shraddha. Shraddham bhagavo vijignasayati. Oh Venerable Sir, I seek to gain Shraddha. Yada vai nististhati atha shraddhadhati. Na nistishtan shraddhadhati. When there is nishtha, then alone Shraddha is possible. Meaning that when one has nishtha in serving the teacher, in Shravanam, so in serving the teacher, in listening to teacher, I guess Shravanam will be included here, So when that is there, then also Shraddha, of course, then Shraddha is possible only when one becomes close to the teacher. One develops a bond with the teacher. One acquires the grace of the teacher. For that one should serve the teacher. The only Shraddha is, then you can see the person. You know the person. Then you have the reverence and devotion, the faith, the trust in that person. So, Nishtha to Vijignasadavya, but then he said Narada, Nishtha also does not come by itself. That serving also does not come by itself. One has to make an effort to attain that also. So, Nistham bhagavo vijignasayati. I seek to gain that Nishtha. Yada vai karoti Atha nishtishthate. Serving the teacher requires doing things. Karoti, therefore, karma is required. Appropriate action is required. Effort is required on the part of the jignasa disciple to serve the teacher. So serving the teacher is a special kind of a thing. Serving anybody. So it's a very special kind of a thing that therefore one has to really understand and know how to do that. Kritim bhagavo vijignaseti. Then that kriti, that karma I seek to know. Yada vai sukham labhate atha karode. So when would one be prompted to do anything? Only when that karma promises sukham or happiness. Yada vai sukham labhate. When there is an expectation of gaining happiness as a result of doing something, then alone one is inclined to do something. Sukham to vijignāsadabhyamiti. The sukham also does not come by itself, that also has to be inquired into. Sukham bhagavo vijignāseti. O Venerable Sir, I seek to know sukham, happiness. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham nalpe sukham asti. O said Narada, yo vai bhuma tat sukham. So that is bhuma, or abundant, or the infinite, that alone is happiness. Nalpe sukham asti. There cannot be happiness in anything that is limited. Bhuma eva sukham is limitless. Infinite alone is happiness. Bhuma to vijignāsada, but then bhuma also has to be known. Bhumanam bhagavo vijignāsayati. O Venerable Sir, I seek to know bhuma. Yatra nanyat pashyati, nanyat shrunoti, nanyat vijanati, sa bhuma. So that is bhuma, where one does not see anything other than oneself, does not hear anything other than oneself, does not know anything other than oneself. Atha yatra anyat pashyati, anyat shrunoti, anyat vijanati, tadalpam. So it says, Yogi bhuma tat sukham. So that which is bhuma, that is happiness. So you should know what bhuma is. Where one does not see anything other than oneself. So non-dual is bhuma. That is alpam. Na alpe sukham nasti. There is no happiness in that which is limited. What is limited? Also should be stated. Yatra anyat pashyati, anyat shrunoti, anyat vijanati, tadalpam. Here Narada, where one sees, when there is duality, when there is one's perception. It is not the pratiti, it is the drashti. Pratiti can be of people and myself, subject, object, pratiti can be there. But in drashti, there is no duality. So in the mind, one does not see the one as other than oneself. The eyes will say there is a person there. The mind says there is a self there. So therefore, for the wise person, there is no otherness. Yogai bhuma tat amritam, further. So how many characters have said here? Yogai bhuma tat sukham, number one. That bhuma means happiness. Bhuma means non-duality. And bhuma means immortality. Yogai bhuma tat amritam, asayat alpam tan maratyam. What is limited is mortal. Bhuma is immortal. So this is what is stated, in this dialogue. So then Bhashyakara said that it would be the first instinct would be to connect Bhuma with what preceded, which is Prana. So, Prana is Paramatma according to this Upanishad. Then Bhashyakara continued, Tatha Shrutam Hyevame Bhagavad Rishebhya Tarti Shokam Atma Viditi. But then the whole teaching began with this statement, the part of sage Narada, Shrutam Hyevame Bhagavad Rishebhya. From venerable teachers like you, I have heard Tardi Shokam Atmavit. Atmavit Shokam Tardi. The knower of the self crosses the ocean of grief. Soham Bhagavad Shochami. And I, who is so knowledgeable as this, Shochami, I am grieving. Meaning that I do not know the self. Tanmam Bhagavan Shokasya Param Tarayatu. To me who is grieving like this, the Venerable Sir may please make me cross this ocean of grief. Now, Sayyid Narada already knows that the knower of the self becomes free from grief. So this amount is saying that, please give me the knowledge of self. This is called Maha Upakrama. This whole teaching begins with the request on the part of sage Narada for gaining the knowledge of the self. Idi prakranothanat paramatma so tarati shokam atmavit. Atma is the subject matter here. So prakranothanat paramatma bhuma ityavi pratibhati. And so Ratnabhava said, Vakyopakramastha Atmapi Swapradipadana Apekshaha Dharmitvena Bhati. See, when the whole discussion begins with Atma, that when Sayyid Narada says that I have heard that the knower of the self transcends the grief, and I am grieving, so please help me cross this grief. Means please teach me, give me the imparted knowledge of the self. So that will remain in the mind when we are looking for where is the self, where is the self, where is the self. So the introduction of Atma in the beginning creates an expectation in us about the nature of the self. So therefore the Atma also, Atma api swapradipadana apekshaha. That Atma also creates an expectation that Sayyid Sanat Kumara should unfold the nature of Atma. So that is there in the mind. Now nowhere the word Atma, up to this point Atma has not come. Later on once it comes, but otherwise Sannihita Vyavahita Prakranabhyam Samshaya. What immediately preceded was Prana, so one may conclude that Bhuma is Prana. And then Vyavahita, far apart is the beginning. After that a long conversation has taken place, but in the mind that Atma is there. Where is Atma? So it is, therefore one would say that this is Atma, Bhuma is Atma. So therefore Vyavahita, by connecting Bhuma with what is remote, in the beginning of this conversation only Atma, one would be inclined to think that Bhuma is Atma or Paramatma. But by connecting with what immediately preceded, which is Prana, one may think that Bhuma is Prana, so Prana is Paramatma. That's how the doubt, it's amazing how to connect this thing, how can the doubt arise, so you can, so sutra is this much only. from them to construct all of these. I don't know how the mind works and how, it's just mind-boggling. Tatra kasya upadanam nyayam kasya va hanamiti bhavati samshaya. Since both these interpretations are possible, kasya upadanam nyayam, what would be proper to accept and what would be proper? So nyayam. You can't just choose one thing or the other. It must be nyayam, it must be in keeping with the reasoning. So what will be in keeping with reasoning? Whether to connect Bhuma with Atma or connect Bhuma with Prana. It is samshaya. Therefore in our mind this doubt is there. Kim tavat praptam, all right. So what is our conclusion? Prana Bhuma iti. Our conclusion is that Prana is Bhuma. Kasmat. How do you say that? What's the connection? Avandara, so even though there is Avandara Prakaranam and then there is Mahaprakaranam. Mahaprakaranam is the entire text where the Upakrama is with Atma. Upasamhara also is Atma. So Mahaprakarana would suggest that Atma is the subject matter, so Bhuma should be in Atma. But Avandara Prakaranam is Prana, is Avandara Prakaranam. So beginning from Nama all the way up to Asha is one Prakaranam. Prana is the second Prakaranam. Then beginning from them up to the Sukham, etc. is the third Prakaranam. And then Bhuma is the Satyam, and then Bhuma is the fourth Prakaranam. So Avandara Prakaranam is Prana. So Mahaprakarana Sheshatvena Durbalatvat na Prana. Then how do you connect with Avandara? Mahaprakaranam should be connected. So says Mahaprakaranad Avandara Prakarana Pravalyartham Lingam. Says, but so he gives linga. What is linga? Indication. Upanishad does not say in so many words that Avandara Prakaranam is stronger or weaker. So he gives linga. What's the linga? So says, what is your reason for concluding that the Bhuma should be connected to Prana, Avandara Prakaranam immediately preceding, rather than being connected to Atma? What is your reasoning? So Bhuya Prashna Prativachana Parampara Darshanat. Bhuya Prashna. So every time Asti Bhagavah Namnah Bhuya iti, Asti Bhagavah Vachaha Bhuya iti. So Bhuya Prashna. Prashna is the question which asks for knowing Bhuya, what is greater or superior. So there is, we find here a parampara, a whole sequence of Bhuya Prashna, or the question which is centered upon Bhuyastvam, or centered upon knowing the greater. So where do you find Yathai Asti Bhagava Namna Bhuya iti? So Nama eva etad. And therefore Nama Upasva. So may you meditate upon Nama as Brahman. Asti Bhagava Namna Bhuya iti. Oh Venerable Sir, is there something greater than Nama? Vagvav Namno Bhuyasi. The reply is given that speech is greater than Nama. Asti Bhagava Vachaha Bhuya iti. Oh Venerable Sir, is there something superior to the Vak or the organ of speech? Mano Vacho Bhuya iti. Yes, the mind is greater than the organ of speech. ఇది च नामादिभ्य हि आप्राणात् भूयः प्रश्न प्रतिवचन प्रवाह प्रवृत्तः. We find that this pravaha, the whole flow, the whole sequence of the question and answer, question for knowing what is superior, and answer telling what is superior. That pravaha, the sequence we find beginning from nama all the way up to prana. न एवं प्राणात् परम भूयः प्रश्न प्रतिवचनम दृश्यते अस्ति भगवः प्राणाद् भूय इति अधो वाव प्राणाद् भूय इति. But this whole parampara, all the succession of the question and answer, they seem to stop with prana. And we do not find Sage Narada asking Sage Sanat Kumara, is there something greater than prana? Or Sanat Kumara answering that such and such entity is greater than prana. We don't see that. Pranameva tu namadibhya ashantebhya bhuyamsam prano va ashayaha bhuyanityadina saprapancham uktva. But very clearly prana is presented here is that which is superior to everything beginning from nama up to asha. Prana is superior to all of them. It is very elaborately explained. Pranadarshinaśya ativaditvam. And then further, Pranadarshi, the one who has realized prana, ativaditvam, he becomes ativadi. He transcends everything in speech. Ativadiyasiti. So hey, then somebody say, you are the ativadi. Ativadi asmiti bruyat napaknuvita. Somebody will ridicule him and say, hey, you are ativadi. You are transcending everything in speech. He says, you should own up, yes, I am ativadi. Should not shy away from owning up your knowledge and your vision, your final conclusion. Ativadi means final conclusion. That everything is prana. That's the final conclusion. And that's what he sees. Therefore, he should not shy away from owning up that conclusion if somebody challenges him. Iti abhyanujñāya. Then eshatu va ativadati yas satyena ativadati. Iti. Then subsequently we say, then no question, no answer. Then Sanat Kumara continues, eshatu va ativadati yas satyena ativadati. So the one, this fellow is ativadi, transcending speech, who transcends the speech by virtue of knowledge of Satyam. So whether the point is it a new topic or is it continuation of the previous topic? Important is. So eshutva ativadati yas satyena ativadati. So this one in fact transcends the speech. Who transcends speech by virtue of knowledge of Satyam. So this ativaditvam which was stated with reference to prana and the ativaditvam that is stated with reference to Satya, is it the same ativaditvam or different ativaditvam? That's the question. What is ativadi? So one may conclude that it is the same ativadi. So one was ativadi by virtue of knowledge of prana is also presented as ativadi by virtue of knowledge of Satyam. So prana is Satyam. There is no break here of the prakaranam. The same topic is continued, not the new topic is started. So then, this is the Purva Paksha. The same topic continues. Siddhantin has to prove that a new topic is started. Eshatu. That tukara also is prakarana vichedaka, meaning that it shows that a different topic is started. And satyena ativadati. that this ativaditvam is different from the previous ativaditvam. Ativaditvam by virtue of knowledge of Satyam is different from ativaditvam by virtue of knowledge of prana. These two things that you stated. But the Purupakshi gives his reasoning that we do not find anything that suggests that a new topic is started, because the trend is that a new topic is started only when there is a question and answer of superiority, which is not there. Therefore, number one, that does not seem to be reason to think that this is a different topic. Secondly, ativaditvam of the prana. So, knower of prana is called ativadi. Knower of satya also is called ativadi. So, ativadit dharma prana is satyam. And therefore, येषु तु वा अतिवदति यः सत्य अतिवदति इति प्राणव्रतम ativaditvam anukrusya. So Purva Pakshi says same ativaditvam here is continued. So anukarsha, same thing you have to pull out from there. Aparityajya eva pranam, meaning that prana is not given up. Because ativaditvam of prana is brought here in Satyam, therefore prana also comes, When ativaditvam comes, what is who is ativadi? One who is a knower of prana. Same ativadi is brought here. Eshatuva ativadati yas satyena ativadati. The same ativadi comes. The same prana also comes. So then prana and satya are the one. So aparityajyeva pranam satyadi paramparaya bhumanam avatarayan. Then satyam, then satyadeva vijanati, then vijnanam, then mananam, and then shraddha, and then nishtha, and then kruti, then sukham, then bhuman. So satyadi paramparaya bhumanam avatarayan. By that sadhana parampara, one comes to bhuma. Pranameva bhumanam manyate iti gamyate. So Purva Pakshi says there is no change of topic because number one, that Prashna Uttara Parampara is not, Prashna Uttara is not there. Number two, same Ativaditvam is there. And therefore, we say that what is Prana alone ultimately is Bhuma. So Prana is Bhuma. Iti Gamyate. So the Shruti Bhuma Prana Bhumanam Pranameva Bhumanam Manyate iti Gamyate. From all of this we conclude the Shruti intends to present Prana alone as Bhuma. Alright. Then we ask the question, Katham puna prane bhumani vyakhyayamane yatra nanyat pashyati iti etat bhumnah lakshanaparam vachanam vyakhyayate. See, it doesn't stop there. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham nalpe sukham asti. Alright. Then bhuma tve vijan bhumanam vijignyasayati yatra nanyat pashyati nanyat shrunoti. Oh revered sir, I seek to know Bhuma. What is Bhuma? Yatra nanyat pashyati, where there is no duality of the seer and the seen, which is non-dual. So how that non-duality? Now you see, when you say that prana is Bhuma, then whatever is stated about Bhuma subsequently also should apply to prana. So you have concluded from your linga, means the evidence. But then whatever is stated subsequently about Bhuma, three things are stated. Yatra nanyat pashyati, number one. And then first, yo vai bhuma tat sukham. Yatra nanyat pashyati, yo vai bhuma tat amrutam. So all of these things should apply to prana. So how will you now connect or how will you apply this lakshanam of non-duality to prana? Not non-duality, does not see the other, does not non-duality, does not see the other, does not hear the other. Then avastha vishesham ashritya. Then reply is given that yes, prana satisfies that condition also. Avastha vishesham, not all the time, in a given avastha, in the state of deep sleep. So referring to deep sleep state, the Purva Pakshi says that not seeing anything, not hearing anything, all occurs in prana also in the state of deep sleep. Uchyate. So this is where the samprasada word comes. Sushuptyavasthayam pranagrasteshu karaneshu darshanadivah nivrutti darshanat sambhavati pranasyapi yatra nanyat pashyati iti etal lakshanam. See, sushuptyavastha. Pranagrasteshu karaneshu. In the state of deep sleep, when all the karanas, all the sense organs of perception, organs of action, mind, all of these are swallowed by prana, meaning all of them merged into prana, meaning that they will cease to function. Darshanadi vyavahar nivrutti darshanat. So understand that in the state of deep sleep, prana is very much awake. Whereas all the karanas, all the organs are absorbed, they are sleeping. So, therefore we find that prana in deep sleep state does not, in fact not prana, the sleeper does not see. So, yatra nanyat pashyati is the lakshana. But anyway, in the state of deep sleep there is a lakshanam where one does not see the other, one does not hear the other. But how do you say that in deep sleep one does not see or anything or hear anything? How do you say that? So it refers to Prashnopanishad. So here also this is stated with reference to the Shruti. Tathacha Shruti na shrunoti na pashyati ityadina sarvakarana vyapara pratyastamaya rupam sushuptyavastam uktva. So Prashnopanishad says na shrunoti na pashyati. Describing this state of deep sleep, the Prashnopanishad says, na shrunoti, this person does not hear, na pashyati, he does not see anything. Ityadina sarva karana vyapara pratyastamaya rupam avastham. Sleep is there where all the activities of all organs also come to a cessation. That's what Prashnopanishad says. So, what is the nature of deep sleep? For that, Bhashyar gives pramanam of Prashnopanishad. That deep sleep is a state where activities of all the organs and mind, all of them come to a cessation. Alright. But prana also comes to a cessation. What means that prana is awake? It says pranagnayeva etasmin pure jagrate iti. Prashnopanishad says clearly, etasmin, in this body, pranagnaya, the fires of the nature of prana, they are awake. So the prana has panchavritti, meaning that it has 5 functions. And the different functions of prana are seen as different agni. So garhapatyo vayesha apana vyana anvaharya pachana avaniya prana iti shrute. Same Upanishad says that apana is garhapatya and then vyana is anvaharya pachana and prana is ahavaniya. These 3 fires that the householder maintains, they are equated to prana. Prana is equated to these fires, meaning that the yajna is going on. Anyway, that's another thing. The thing that means that prana is awake. Tasyam evasthayam panchavrutte pranasya jagranam bruvati shruti. So Shruti says that in the same very deep sleep state, the prana with all its 5 functions, physiological functions, is awake. So all the activities of prana take place. Pranam, breathing out, takes place. Apanam, breathing in takes place. Vyanam, circulation takes place. Udanam also, and Samanam, digestion, everything takes place. So prana with all its functions is wide awake in a state of deep sleep, where all of the organs are sleeping. Prana pradhanam sushuptyavastham darshayate. So Prashnopanishad clearly states that the state of deep sleep is dominated by prana. So prana means state of deep sleep. So nanyat pashyati, one does not see the other, means state of applies for deep sleep, where all the organs are sleeping and prana alone is awake. So by Lakshanavrit you can say that prana does not see anything, does not hear, therefore the correct Lakshana of Bhuma applies to prana also. How about Yova Bhuma Tat Sukham? How do you explain that? Yachetad Bhumna Sukhatvam Shrudam. That Bhuma is Sukham or happiness. Tadapi Aviruddham. That also can be reconciled. No problem. How? Same Upanishad. Atra esha devaha swapnan na pashyate atha yad etasmin sharire sukham bhavati. Atra esha devaha swapnan na pashyati. Atra means in deep sleep state. Esha deva, this deva called Jivatma does not see the dreams. Athayat etasmin sharire sukham bhavati. Then for this Jivatma there is happiness in his body. Tadapi. So sushupta avasthayam eva sukha shravanat. So number one, sushupta avastha satisfies all these criteria. Where one does not see the other, number one, where there is happiness. So what applies to Sushupta Avastha can be said to apply to prana, because in that prana alone is awake, and therefore you can say by Lakshana, even though Jiva does not see, but then you can say prana does not see, prana is happiness. Yachayo vaibhuma tad amrutamiti. The third characteristic is what Bhuma is immortal. Your prana is limited, therefore it is mortal. It says no. So pranasya viruddha, that also is not contradictory to prana. Prana va amrutamiti shrutehe brings from Kaushitagyopanishad. Prana vai amrutam, prana is amrutam. But that prana is equal to prajna, and prajna is consciousness. In that sense it was stated. But anyway, all right. Katham punah pranam bhumanam manyamanasya tardi shogamatmiti atmavividishaya prakasta utthanam upapadyate. All right, now that you say that prana is bhuma, or bhuma is prana, then how do you introduce? How come the whole discussion begins with the discussion of Atma? If prana, then why should not the discussion, why should not Sage Narada have asked Sanat Kumara, please teach me, give me, impart me knowledge of prana, he should have stated. He stated, please impart me the knowledge of Atma. So if prana is Atma or prana is Paramatma, then how do you explain that this discussion begins with the discussion of Atma? So katham punah pranam bhumanam manyamanasya tad shokam atma iti atma vidishaya prakanasya utthanam upadyate. Atma Vividishaya. So, even though Sayyid Narada does not say in so many words, but then Adhi Bhagava he does say, please teach me. Teach me what? Teach me that by which I can transcend the ocean of grief. So how do you expect to transcend? I have heard that it is knower of self which becomes free from grief. That there I want to transcend the grief. That means I want to know the self. So how do you explain the introduction of the whole discussion with Atma when the Shruti wants to say that Prana is Bhuma? Says Prana eva Atma Vakshite Brumah. We say Prana alone is intended to be stated here as Atma. So Shruti wants to say that Prana alone is Atma. Purvapakshi is how? Tathahi Prano Hapita, Prano Mata, Prano Bhrata, Prana Swasa, Prana Acharya, Prano Brahmana iti, Pranameva Sarvatmanam Karoti. So Prana alone is Father and all of this stated for glorification of Prana. But then if you take it literally, then it means that Prana alone is Father and Mother and Sister and Teacher and Brahmana. So Prana is the self of all. So Pranameva Sarvatmanam Karoti. It shows, Shruti shows how Prana alone is Sarvatma, self of all. And secondly, Yathava Aranavau Samarpidaha. Evam Asmin Prane Saram Samarpidam. Further, Yatha Ara Navau Samarpidaha. Just as the spokes are fixed or centered upon the hub. Evam Asmin Prane Sarvam Samarpitam. Similarly also, the entire universe is Samarpitam, is fixed, connected to the derived its existence and its mobility from prana. So two things are stated. Sarvatmatva Aranavi Darshanabhyam. That as far as prana is presented as Sarvatma, as well as in the place of Navi where Aras are all fixed, Sambhavati Vaipulyatmika Bhumarupata Pranasya. Therefore, it shows how it is feasible that prana may possess the Vaipulyatmika Bhumarupata. Prana possesses nature of Bhuman being abundance. So that Bhuma means abundance. And that abundance is quite, plausible or possible in case of prana also. So all the characteristics of Bhuma apply to prana. Tasmat prana bhuma iti evam praptam. Therefore we say that. So kim tavat prana bhuma? Kasmat. On what basis do you say that prana is bhuma? All this is stated here. It says tasmat prana bhuma iti evam praptam. So tasmat prana bhuma iti. Therefore, so prana alone is bhuma. That's what the Purvapakshi says. Evam praptam, this is the situation now. Tata uchyate, then this is what the Sutrakara says. We'll continue tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnama Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Dehaya Dakshina. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.